Those women out there who sacrifice it all, day in, day out, against all the odds. Women like this.
Rare video of her daughter Lilibet playing with her auntie Serena Williams. A revealing and candid new People magazine cover story about life at home with Harry.
It's recording.
Okay.
Eggs out of a free-range chicken's backside with her bare hands before presumably sprinkling some flower petals on them to feed to her kids who've had a hard day of being looked after by the nanny in their other mansion.
And a brand new Martha Stewart-ish lifestyle series.
Let's go.
This is the reinvention of Meghan Markle.
This is what I do, and I haven't been able to share it with you.
The Duchess just rebranded her American Riviera Orchard brand as ever.
Oh my gosh, Meghan Markle is insufferable. She's as popular as getting hardcore chafing during the first kilometre of a marathon. All you working mums out there having a hard time juggling your career and parent.
And today dropped her new Netflix series, With Love, Meghan.
What? This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
Celebrity friends, chefs.
That is so good.
We're family now.
And even her husband, Prince Harry, joined in. But he's only in the final episode.
Oh, there we go.
As Meghan shares an intimate look at her life in Montecito. Kinda. The show was shot in a rented $6 million mansion near her actual home.
I mean, how relatable is that, eh? You're a single mum of two in Basingstoke. You've just come in off the night shift and you see one of your kids outside eating worms.
I was very busy last night, weren't you?
I was.
Yeah. You were watching the Duchess of Sussex's latest Netflix series, which has had very mixed reviews, but you really enjoyed it, didn't you?
OK, here's where I come clean, Emily. I didn't watch a single second.
Let's make a show.
Let's go. I've always loved taking something pretty ordinary and elevating it. Surprising people with moments that let them know I was really thinking of them.
And I just couldn't bring myself to.
Well, should we give you a little refresher?
I just want to raise a glass to you, guys. This feels like a new chapter that I'm so excited that I get to share. And I've been able to learn from all of you. So just thank you for the love and support. And here we go, there's a business.
What? This is probably one of the most glamorous moments of my life.
It's magic.
I'm just learning.
Look at how much honey we have.
Do you believe in magic?
We're not in the pursuit of perfection.
Now, you must be literally a bundle of wits waiting for this incredible new show, With Love, from Meghan. You must be waiting for it.
I mean, Meghan, some of her advice that she gave People magazine this week was how she likes to take her Chinese takeout and make it look beautiful on the plate. And, you know, that's the kind of advice I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Meghan Markle's Netflix comeback was supposed to be a slam dunk. A cozy lifestyle series filled with fresh recipes, elegant dinners, and celebrity charm. It sounded like a guaranteed win. But with Love, Meghan didn't just flop. It crashed hard. Viewership numbers were shockingly low. In the US, only about 526,000 households tuned in to watch the premiere. Critics tore it apart, calling it everything from vacuous to toe-curlingly unlovable. The Guardian gave it 1 star. Metacritic slapped it with a 37. Even die-hard fans admitted it felt overly curated, overly perfect, and ironically, totally out of touch. And now, Meghan is doing something she's never done before in her on-screen career. Asking for help. Real help. Hollywood help. Season 2 is already in the works, and this time it's packed with big-name guest appearances. Chrissy Teigen, José Andrés, and even Gwyneth Paltrow are lined up to join the show. Netflix is betting that familiar faces, casual conversations, and real kitchen moments will fix the perception problem. That if viewers see Meghan surrounded by honest, grounded, likable people, they might finally start to believe that she is too. But here's the twist.
Woke us all up. We're in the pursuit of joy. Love
I can't take it anymore. Get out, get out, get out. Uncle, make it end. Make it end. What is this? Guys, I feel like I'm a very accepting person. Truly, I want to like something about her. I'm searching for something to like about her.
This isn't just a celebrity flex. This is survival mode. Because when the audience doesn't trust your authenticity, no amount of royal titles, fancy lighting, or curated aesthetics will save you. Meghan's image has taken a hit, and now her team is pulling out every PR trick in the book to steer the narrative back on track. So why these guests? Why now? And what does it say about where Meghan really stands in the public eye? In this video, we're diving into the real reason the Duchess is dialing Hollywood, and whether her new strategy is brilliant or just a bandage over a brand that's already bleeding. Because the guest list might sparkle, but the reviews still sting. After the brutal response to season 1, Meghan didn't retreat. She reloaded, and the ammo? Hollywood heavyweights. First up is Chrissy Teigen. She's not just a model or cookbook author, she's a viral powerhouse. Her brutally honest takes on motherhood, cancel culture, and messy kitchen fails have made her one of the most relatable figures online. In season 2, she's set to appear alongside Meghan for a casual kitchen chat, swapping stories about parenting, identity, and life in the public eye. It's a calculated move. Teigen brings credibility where Meghan has faced skepticism. Then there's Chef José Andrés, not your average celebrity guest. He's fed people in war zones, natural disasters, and refugee camps. His inclusion adds a layer of humanitarian depth, a clear pivot from the soft glow glam of season 1. The message here? Meghan cares. She's not just here to show you how to fold napkins, she wants to use her platform for good. At least, that's what Netflix is hoping audiences will take away from it. And the real headline grabber? Gwyneth Paltrow. The Goop Queen recently revealed in an interview that she and Meghan text regularly and that she'd be absolutely open to making an appearance. Gwyneth's name brings an entirely different energy.
Biggest stars and investors, where they were teasing their 2025 lineup. Meghan was nowhere to be found in the paperwork. She received a brief mention when she was the butt of a joke by one of the comedians on stage.
Wellness, wealth, and a whole lot of press. Whether she actually appears or just flirts with the idea, her involvement signals that season 2 is going full throttle on the A-list reinforcements. But there's something telling about this sudden flood of star power. It doesn't just feel like a fresh creative direction, it feels like damage control. Meghan's image took a serious hit with the critics. And now, she's surrounding herself with people the public already likes, hoping some of that goodwill rubs off. But that plan only works if the audience is still willing to watch. Because flashy guests might get you clicks, but they can't erase what came before. Let's get real about the numbers, because this isn't just about bad press, it's about performance. And by Netflix standards, with love, Meghan bombed. The debut episode only pulled in around 526,000 US households. That's a fraction of what her earlier docuseries with Prince Harry brought in. Their 2022 Netflix special had over 2.4 million viewers across its first few days. By comparison, Meghan's solo project barely made a ripple. Even globally, the numbers weren't flattering. In its best week, the show ranked 10th on Netflix's top 10 with about 12.6 million viewing hours. Respectable for a niche series? Maybe, but for a $100 million deal attached to royal fame? Embarrassing. The reviews were just as brutal.
It's not even her kitchen. The people she surrounds herself with don't even seem to be her friends. One of them said, "Oh my gosh, you're so tall," which implies she's never even met her before. And where are the kids?
Rotten Tomatoes slapped it with a 40% critic score. Metacritic didn't hold back either, dropping it to a flat 37. Some called it a visual Pinterest board with no soul. Others said it was an influencer reel masquerading as a lifestyle show. But the worst cuts came from major outlets. The Guardian labeled it toe-curlingly unlovable. The Telegraph described it as an exercise in narcissism. Even Variety rolled its eyes at what it called a Montecito fantasy with zero cultural bite. And these weren't anonymous Reddit threads. These were seasoned TV critics with real weight in the industry, and their consensus was clear. The show felt out of touch, overly curated, and emotionally hollow. It wasn't just that people didn't like it, it was that they didn't believe it. And that's a massive problem when your entire brand is supposed to be about connection, authenticity, and breaking the mold. So, while the new celebrity lineup might create short-term buzz, it's not addressing the core issue. Because if season 1 taught us anything, it's that no amount of soft lighting or hand-picked florals can cover up a disconnect between image and reality. And just when things couldn't look any worse, Meghan was about to reignite controversy over something as small as a signature. Just as the chatter around bad reviews began to die down, Meghan Markle landed herself in another PR mess, this time with a gift basket. A few months after the show premiered, select influencers and media insiders received a luxury care package promoting Meghan's brand as ever. The basket included herbal teas, handcrafted jams, and a sleek note of thanks. But it wasn't what was in the basket that caused outrage. It was what was on it.
I would love Meghan is so pointless, it might be the Sussexes' last TV show. The New Statesman, another lefty rag, said, "This isn't her house. Are these people her friends? Can she really cook or garden or do any of the things she coos about?"
Printed neatly at the bottom of the card were the words, "With compliments of HRH, the Duchess of Sussex." Wait, HRH? That's the title Meghan and Harry agreed to stop using back in 2020 when they stepped down from royal duties. It was part of their formal exit deal with Buckingham Palace. No His or Her Royal Highness in any commercial ventures. They could keep the titles privately, but using them in public, especially on merchandise or branded communication, was strictly off limits. So when people spotted HRH on a promotional card for a for-profit product, the internet pounced. Critics called it a blatant contradiction. Headlines labeled it tone-deaf and opportunistic. Royal commentators accused her of trying to have it both ways, claiming independence from the monarchy while cashing in on the prestige that came with it. Even neutral voices found the move confusing. Was it a branding oversight, a rogue design team, or was it intentional, banking on the fact that most fans wouldn't notice or care? Whatever the explanation, the damage was done. Once again, Meghan found herself branded with the word she's spent years trying to shake.
Knows that Meghan Markle has eaten Jack in the Box and loves it.
It's so funny, too, that you keep saying Meghan Markle. You know I'm Sussex now. You have kids, and you go, no, I share my name with my children.
Hypocrite. And this wasn't a one-off misstep. It added fuel to a growing narrative that the Duchess wants to curate every detail, every frame, every headline, but keeps tripping over contradictions that make the whole operation feel forced. And just when this scandal was making headlines, another clip from With Love, Meghan surfaced, one that would drag the conversation into even more uncomfortable territory. Because this time, it wasn't about royal titles, it was about correcting a friend. On camera. What was supposed to be a lighthearted sisterhood moment between Meghan Markle and Mindy Kaling quickly turned into one of the show's most awkward controversies. In one episode of With Love, Meghan, the two sit across from each other, swapping stories about childhood, career, and finding their place in the spotlight. But then Mindy says something simple. "Back when you were Meghan Markle?" Before she could finish, Meghan cuts in. "You know I'm Sussex now, right?" She says it with a smile. Light tone, but the tension, instant. Social media went into overdrive. That one line, "I'm Sussex now," sparked a tidal wave of memes, hot takes, and TikTok reactions. The hashtag #Meghan Rude started trending. Commenters called it needlessly corrective, cringy, and deeply insecure.
So hard because she suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. Do you know what I mean? I've never seen this sort of. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity. Because I know other women who are listening to this podcast and totally relate. When I have my girlfriends over and we're cooking, all of us are in full glam.
Some fans defended her, saying it was a harmless joke, but others saw it as another example of Meghan rewriting her own history in real time. Even Mindy's subtle facial reaction became meme material. Her half-laugh, half-freeze expression after being corrected got turned into reaction GIFs, stitched videos, and side-by-side edits comparing her before and after energy. It didn't help that the moment came right after Meghan had been slammed for appearing too controlling and image-obsessed. This tiny exchange reinforced what critics were already whispering, that every interaction on With Love, Meghan felt calculated. Eventually, Mindy addressed the controversy during an appearance on The View, calling the public reaction fascinating and downplaying the drama, but even her calm response couldn't kill the narrative that had already taken off. The correction hit a nerve. It didn't just feel awkward, it felt like a glimpse into a dynamic Meghan didn't mean to show, a flash of how tightly she manages the details, even in casual conversation. And when that clip spread, it became clear that viewers weren't just judging the show, they were judging her. The tone, the branding, the behavior, everything. But if correcting Mindy raised eyebrows, what came next would stir even more ridicule. All thanks to a skillet, a tomato, and a very unfortunate pasta hack.
Full glam. And we're like, it's not about perfection, but then you look at what we've made and it's literally perfect. In fact, just when I make a cake, it looks just like that with my girlfriends. I look perfect, they look perfect, the cake looks perfect, but we say it's not about perfection.
Just when it seemed like the backlash might cool off, Meghan's kitchen struck again. In one episode, she walks viewers through a supposedly easy, comforting dinner, skillet spaghetti. The recipe? Dry pasta tossed in a cast iron pan, a handful of cherry tomatoes, greens, crumbled feta, and then pour boiling water straight from a kettle. No boiling, no draining, just mix and pray. The internet lost it. Foodies were horrified. TikTok chefs stitched the clip, mocking it as the saddest crime against carbs. Twitter branded it pasta trauma. Even Italian food bloggers jumped in, calling the dish a culinary disgrace. And the headline that summed it up best? That's not food, that's punishment. But the pasta wasn't the only dish getting roasted. Right around the same time, Meghan launched a high-end line of artisanal products under her As Ever brand. One of the first offerings, a $14 jar of raspberry jam. It didn't take long for the mockery to snowball. On his podcast, Conan O'Brien joked the jam was infused with the oils of Montecito. Ryan Reynolds chimed in, saying he'd rather spread sarcasm on toast. The roast went viral. And with that, Meghan's carefully staged kitchen became the internet's favorite punchline. Why did it sting so much? Because the timing was tone-deaf. Meghan had just spoken about how many families struggle to afford groceries. And then she's promoting $14 jam and one-pan pasta that feels like a parody of luxury living. Viewers felt talked at, not to. And more importantly, it fed into the central criticism that's haunted the show from day one.
Really? Because I feel like it maybe is precisely about perfection. Skipping through with honey and bees. Like who are you trying to be?
That it's trying too hard to be soft, serene, and perfect, at the expense of being real. When your lifestyle brand feels more curated than lived in, even a spoonful of jam can become a PR nightmare. Netflix saw it happening, and they knew they couldn't let season 2 follow the same recipe. So behind closed doors, a full-scale reinvention began. At this point, Netflix wasn't just trying to save a show, it was trying to rescue an entire brand. Internally, executives knew with love, Meghan couldn't survive another season of awkward pauses, meme-worthy meals, and soft-focus disconnect. The numbers were underwhelming, the reviews were ruthless, and the internet was unforgiving. So they did what Hollywood always does when the spotlight turns brutal. They changed the story. Enter the new game plan. Season 2, already filmed and deep in editing, is being carefully reworked to feel looser, messier, and, Netflix hopes, more authentic. Gone is the over-rehearsed calm and perfectly arranged fruit bowls. In their place, supposedly candid bloopers, casual interruptions, and off-script moments. A clip reportedly shows Prince Harry dropping in mid-shoot with their kids. Another shows Meghan burning a recipe and laughing it off. It's all very strategic chaos. Netflix also leaned heavily on its celebrity lifelines. Chrissy Teigen brings the real talk energy. José Andrés adds depth and purpose. And Gwyneth Paltrow, whether she appears or not, her association brings goop-level buzz. And the message behind it all? Meghan is trying. She's growing. She's learning to let go. At least, that's what the PR machine wants us to believe.
Why can't she just lend that marketing team to Meghan Markle? Why does she struggle so much with humanity? Why can't she just be like, hey, if I'm on that marketing team and I'm strategizing, I'm like, hey, here's what we're gonna do. You're just gonna be a person. She's like, what? What are you saying?
Internally, marketing teams have even coined a term for this pivot, the authenticity reset. Yeah, that's how calculated this is. They're not just tweaking the format, they're selling a whole new version of Meghan, one who makes mistakes, gets her hands dirty, and doesn't always get it right. But here's the risk. If even that feels curated, it could backfire worse than the perfection it replaced, because audiences are smarter than ever. They know the difference between real vulnerability and a well-lit version of it. And if they sniff out even a whiff of performance under all that new authenticity, the backlash will be twice as brutal. Netflix is walking a fine line. One wrong step, and season 2 doesn't just flop, it confirms every criticism that came before. And that brings us to the one thing no celebrity guest can fix: the authenticity problem. No matter how many A-listers Meghan brings on, one problem keeps rising to the surface. People don't believe her anymore. Not because she's dishonest, but because everything feels too curated. From the color-coded pantries to the softly whispered voiceovers, with Love, Meghan often feels more like a Pinterest mood board than a lifestyle show. And in 2025, that's not enough. Viewers are craving realness.
You're gonna get up out of bed, okay? Your hair's gonna be a little messy, out of place. You're gonna go pick up your kids, maybe if that's what you do. And we're just gonna try to figure out like who you are.
Chaos, flaws. They don't want another perfectly arranged tea tray. They want a messy kitchen, an unscripted laugh, something unpredictable. And the audience isn't the only one saying it. Comedian Katherine Ryan, once a vocal supporter of Meghan, recently called the show manicured and forced. She said what many viewers had been thinking, that it doesn't feel like you're watching a person. You're watching a brand trying to act like a person. Even Gogglebox, the British reality series where people react to TV in real time, had its cast rolling their eyes at the show's tone. Does she even eat in this kitchen? One person quipped. Reddit threads were worse, labeling the entire vibe as Pottery Barn propaganda and a masterclass in being disconnected. The backlash isn't just about aesthetics, it's about trust. When every moment feels rehearsed, when every plate looks staged, it stops feeling like a show and starts feeling like a performance. And once the audience sees through the illusion, everything else, celebrity guests, jam launches, even royal cameos, loses its power. The irony? Meghan's entire brand was originally built on breaking tradition, on doing things differently. People rooted for her because she wasn't like the others. But with Love, Meghan made her look exactly like what she fought against. Distant, untouchable, too polished to relate to. And that disconnect is bigger than any single scandal, joke, or recipe flop. It's the kind of flaw that can't be fixed by reshoots or editing tweaks. Because if viewers don't feel like they're seeing the real Meghan, it doesn't matter how beautiful the kitchen is.
Like, I don't understand why they thought that producing what could only be described as a rom-com trailer. I truly, when I watched this, I tweeted, I thought it was going to end and say, starring Drew Barrymore and Julia Roberts in whatever too. You know, like, what is this? It's giving rom-com vibes.
Now, there's only one question left. Can a handful of celebrities really turn this around? So now we've seen the setup. A Netflix show that started as a soft, serene escape into Meghan Markle's curated world has turned into a PR battlefield. Viewership flatlined, critics called it lifeless, social media dragged everything from her pasta to her posture. And now, Season 2 is betting it all on famous faces and a fresh tone. But here's the uncomfortable truth. This isn't just a content problem anymore, it's a credibility one. Bringing in Chrissy Teigen, José Andrés, or even Gwyneth Paltrow might earn buzz and headlines. But it doesn't solve the core issue, because right now, the audience isn't asking, who's her next guest? They're asking, is this really who Meghan is? That's a much harder question to answer. The public has grown wary of brand personas that feel like they were designed in a boardroom. And every time Meghan tries to show a new version of herself, whether it's the serene duchess, the influencer mom, or the casual hostess, people aren't buying it. Not because they hate her, but because they don't believe her. And that's what makes this next season so risky. If Season 2 feels even slightly like a reboot that's trying too hard, it won't win viewers back. It'll confirm every doubt they already had. If it leans into authenticity but stumbles, critics will say it's fake vulnerability. If it plays it safe again, it'll be dismissed as out of touch all over again. Netflix is walking a razor's edge. The margin for error? Practically zero. The stakes aren't just about saving a series. They're about salvaging a public image that once symbolized rebellion and relatability. And now risks being remembered as overly filtered, overly planned, and ultimately forgettable. Will Hollywood's help be enough to flip the script? Or will Season 2 prove that even a duchess can't outrun the audience's demand for something real? The answer's coming this fall. And whether it's a redemption arc or a final crash, everyone will be watching.